This is the Fair Enough City podcast. Each week, myself, Denis Len, and
me, Roger O'Sullivan,
spend an hour recapping the previous week's episodes of Fair City, Ireland's biggest TV soap opera.
Why do we do it?
I don't know, but it's a true test of faith, friendship, and mental endurance.
This is the last call for the Carrickstown Express. Hop on, hoot hoot, hoot hoot.
I didn't agree to that.
And what do you think is the strangest, unique fast food item you've ever had off of a menu?
Really? What? Oh, God, I don't know. I'm on the spot now.
Yeah, go on.
What
go
if they're
on.
listening? Will I tell you what I had last night?
Okay, go on.
I had 2 McDonald's bacon double cheeseburgers
Sicken.
and fries.
Sicken
Yeah.
me.
But I couldn't figure out whether or not if I got it in a meal, it would be cheaper. So I was having a bit of anxiety about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, of course, because your net worth is less than one of those.
It actually is.
Yeah.
I could only get a medium chips. It was
Oh.
$2.60.
You're...
And they were they jaundiced when I got
me,
them.
you are scum. If you can only afford a medium chips.
I'd say you're one who's cooking them. Just put a handful of frozen chips into her hand, just dipped it into the fucking deep fat fryer and took it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you hear the... do you know what I think is well, there's a big divide in Cork City. And by that I mean there's one boards.ie page that hasn't been active since 2010 talking about this, where the best chips in the city are from Lennox's or Murphy's.
I've never been to Murphy's.
Murphy's is... Well, I won't say whose house it's near.
Whose house is it near?
It's near my house.
Stupid crap. But
you should be able to triangulate exactly where I live based on...
you're giving it out, man. You want them to call. You're setting off flares.
I don't want
You
them
are.
to call. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
What you think is going to call is not going to call.
Are you...
Just going to get some lad wearing corduroy pants, flared corduroy pants.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Is Roger here?
No, he's down at the airport.
You're Roger, I know you are.
But Murphy's have myself and Dr. Squeeze actually yesterday.
Not her again.
We're sampling some of their some of their
Come
wares.
on, get on with it. Are they better?
I happen to really like them, but they serve something called a sloppy foley,
Yeah.
which is
I've served a few of those in my time. Go on.
Dennis. Can you guess what a sloppy foley is? Come on, I'll give you 3 guesses.
It's some sort of taco crap. Taco fries
Yeah.
and garlic.
No. Close though.
Cheese.
No.
Gravy.
No. It is a taco cheese fries served inside a wrap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
And last night when
We always do this. I always get starving then at the start of the...
Yeah.
I'm nearly crying now thinking about that.
Really?
Yeah.
You're infuriating though, because the Denis, I don't know what his diet hasn't evolved past, I'd say, college years.
No, it hasn't.
No, Denis will... Well, I remember for a week you said you were going to become a flexitarian.
I have a metabolism of an ant.
Yeah. You're going to be hilarious if you survive into old age. You'll be absolutely hilarious.
My dad still thinks that he is skinny and everything, right? And he is skinny, but he looks like a massively pregnant woman as well. He just doesn't realize. We were at home the other night, right? I was down fixing my poor old car, driving myself insane.
What is it again? Audi A6 is there?
Yeah, Audi A5. It's an Audi A10 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's twice as big as an Audi A5. But I was down with my parents, and my parents are basically killing themselves through food, and you just can't talk to them.
Okay, yeah.
And I said in the kitchen, one of you is
Hang on.
What are you, a doctor?
There we go.
Brilliant, yeah.
I've got a bit of a soundboard.
Eric's after hooking Roger up with a terrible soundboard, so...
What are you, a doctor?
If anyone wants to stop listening now, I don't blame you. It's going to be another hour of that crap.
It's so fun.
But I was on with my parents, and they were... I said to them, Jesus, lads, you need to... Here, get away from that soundboard, all right? I was like, you need to, cop on with the food, you're going to die,
What are you, a doctor?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay,
I hope
I'll
someone's
stop.
enjoying
I'll
it.
stop for a while.
But I just said to Dad, like, you look like you're having twins. Like, you need to calm down. Like, and
Jesus.
he was lying on the couch, right? And he was eating jelly and ice cream, right? And I goes, come on, Dad, like, you need to cut down on the old jelly and ice cream, right? And then Mum goes, that's not jelly and ice cream. That's just jelly and cream. As he was resting the bowl on his his TV dinner tray, which is just his stomach.
This is where you get it from.
What?
Do you remember when we were in Edinburgh? When we were in Edinburgh, I was I made this. Every comedian, when they go to Edinburgh, they become very unhealthy. That's fair enough to say, because you're gigging all the time.
They also think they're going to get discovered as well. That's the
that's the
other
funniest
sickness
thing.
they suffer from.
They think they're going to get discovered when they're eating curry chips with vinegar.
They don't realize they're just being taken horrible advantage of by people.
It's like nobody doing comedy in Edinburgh has ever read Das Kapital, and is like, oh, okay, so if the money's not where I am, it's in somebody's pockets.
Yeah, it's just waiting for you.
Yeah. No, that's it. If I keep doing this, I will become rich.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching comedians play out the sunken time fallacy. It's brilliant, but it must be done.
It's basically like some of it is just slavery, like.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, where are we going?
Oh, what I was going to say is that I said to Denis, like, listen, we're going to go jogging every morning, and we're going to exercise, and we're going to meditate and stuff like this. And
when we're in Edinburgh, right, I think it's definitely something that we need to watch. We shouldn't be closed off from the world.
No.
Just the two of us for that length of time ever again. Because what you just described is a cult.
Yeah, I was going to say there's been times when we've been verging on just cultism.
Sex cult. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember
none of the sex.
Can I talk about that Facebook page?
What Facebook page?
Do you remember the one that we started a Facebook page?
Yeah, but just don't give them the original idea.
Okay, yeah. We started a Facebook page
because there's comedians that listen to this and they're waiting with buckets, like they're actually waiting with buckets underneath their stereos.
They want to pick up our comedic crumbs.
They're waiting for little joke crumbs to fall in,
Come
so
on,
they can make a joke for themselves.
But we were driving down from Galway and we were going absolutely nuts, like just absolutely insane, as we always are, because you've just done a gig that's probably, in our case, has probably gone really, really, really okay.
I think to just be completely self-aware of my own self and what I tend to do is, my idea will be, let's build a replica of the Pyramid of Giza.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of basically work on me for a few weeks until we get it down to, let's just do a Fair City podcast.
Yeah.
That's basically how it goes.
That's kind of it.
And this same thing happened with this idea.
Yeah. So this idea was, we were like, we were just thinking that this would be a funny thing to have a Facebook page as. And I can say what the name of it is. Yeah.
You can go on and like it if you want.
Yeah. And we were like, we'll make this Facebook page. And we were going to call it Delete All Messages, just as a joke to ourselves, because we'd say that every now and again. And when we did this, we never did anything with the Facebook page. It's probably been up there a year now, which is typical for our kind of workflow. But because it's called Delete All Messages, I would say once to twice a week, we get messages from usually middle-aged men.
I'd honestly say you're safe to say that we get a message every single day, if not two or three.
Do you know what? You're actually right, because because early on it wasn't that frequent, but it became so frequent a few months ago that I actually had to turn off all notifications because I was getting in trouble at work.
It's just basically insane people are messaging the page and saying things like, please, as in like responding to the title of Delete All Messages, please delete all my messages.
Yeah.
They even message us and say thanks.
Yeah.
And like, we haven't done anything.
Sometimes they message us and say, which is the complete opposite of the page. They ask us, is there any way I can get back my messages?
Yeah, you need to go to the other page.
Yeah. But my...
undelete all messages.
What I joked to Denis about it's almost always, I would say, middle-aged men and young women. They're the two people that send it to us. And I would say pretty much across the board, every one of them is involved in some level of infidelity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
I've been messaging them back, no, though. Yeah. I've been saying, like, they're all gone.
Jesus Christ.
And deleted complete and all this crap.
Oh, do you remember I said to you...
And then they get back to me and they're like, fucking delete it.
I said to you that we should have an auto response on the message page that said, you can set up auto responses for pages. And I told Denis that we should set one up that said, if we can delete them all, but you just must send a copy of all the ones you want deleted to us first.
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ.
you laughed for about a second and then cut yourself off and said, don't do that. We'll be embroiled in something. Do not do that.
Yeah, but you probably would go and do that.
Yeah. Well, I have.
Yeah. All right. Where do we don't really do any Fair City news anymore. We don't really have any.
There was
I'll be honest, man. I got so sick of looking it up. I couldn't look it up anymore.
Really?
I don't. How do I say this?
Be
I
careful.
would find it hard to work as a journalist, putting it very, very strongly, to work as a journalist who writes about things happening in television programs.
Oh, that would be tough.
That must be effing hard.
You know, I have a friend who, I won't say which paper they work for, but they do.
It's The Independent.
Shut up. But they work for the digital portion of one of Ireland's top newspapers, and they have a journalism degree and stuff. I knew them in college. Absolutely excellent writer.
I actually saw people handing out journalism degrees in Patrick Street the other day in Cork.
That's the guy that screams "Echo," isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he said that the majority of his job.
The fella, the Evening Echo fella.
What?
Are we talking about the Evening Echo fella?
No.
Because he's not a journalist. He just hands out newspapers.
No.
Actually, will you explain the Evening Echo guy to anyone who doesn't know?
Oh, who?
Also, I bet you he's dead and we're talking about him.
That's typical us now. We're ahead of the curve.
Give them a bit of background on Evening Echo Man.
The Evening Echo Man is... I'm trying to think of... There's somebody who... I'll say who it is in a second, but the Evening
Take
Echo
your time
Man...
anyway.
Dead air is... people like that now, don't they? It's
Yeah,
kind of like
big silences.
postmodern. But in Cork, there's a local newspaper called the Evening Echo, and there is a man... There's multiple men, actually.
But this guy's the
main guy.
OG.
Yeah, they're as a marketing ploy, they get old men to stand in specific places around Cork City and shout. Go on, Denis, you give us a...
Well, he just goes, Echo, Echo.
Yeah, just shouts that really loudly.
Never echoes, though.
No, it doesn't.
And just to give you a bit of, to describe this fella as well, I think he goes to work via a chimney.
Yeah, I would say that's fair enough.
Definitely, like.
And they shout echo.
Showers, puts on clothes, has a bit of breakfast, and
Yeah.
goes up through his chimney to go into Cork.
Yeah.
And he, more often than not, has a broken arm.
Yeah, pretty much. But our friend and also comedian, Jack Horgan,
Yeah.
is from Dungarvan, I believe. And he told me...
Sure, give away his house address there, Roger.
Okay, yeah. But he told me recently that he lived in Cork for a full year before he figured out that this wasn't just a lunatic that was shouting garbled nonsense on the street.
But sure, the amount of narcotics that Jack does, I'd say it took him a year to figure out it wasn't a fucking figment of his imagination.
I said where he was from, and you implicate him.
Sure. We all know Jack loves the drugs. All right, that's our lovely intro over for this week. I felt that went very nicely.
Yeah, great comment on it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Wasn't that smooth, listeners?
I don't think that you should be able to do anything without us commenting on it, meta-commenting on what we're doing.
You think so? Yeah.
So we had some horrendous silences last week as well.
Hey.
And I think that's due to our upgraded equipment here
Yeah.
by the fantastic Eric, who is wearing all new clothes, a
Yes.
new man.
Yeah.
Now that he's met he's going out with one of the cleaners, I think, actually.
Yeah.
A lovely woman.
And can I just say, he's clearly gotten some cleaning products off of her because that smell is gone. Smell's gone. And I'll tell you this much.
You know what I thought was too far?
What?
Was when you spread around the office that his new name was Smellrick. That was scandalous.
Oh, come on, man. He took that on the chin. He did.
No, I think she's actually been sheep dipping him.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's the only way to really
Get
sort that out.
Smell properly out. Yeah.
He's looking good. You're looking good, Eric. In fairness to you.
Do you know, there's very few livestock actually go for baths, but I really respect that about sheep.
You know, my dad said to me yesterday. He said, "I was talking to a woman." Right, he was talking to a woman because I was talking to a woman, and she said their cows are out already. Right, and then I goes, "That's great, Dad," because I didn't care, and he
You're some prick.
And he goes, it's too early. It's like, it shows, the grass is growing this early. He said there was a lad up the road, Pat the caretaker, from my old school, Pat the rat. You tell Pat stuff and then he'd tell all the teachers and get you flogged. So am Pat. And he said, Pat, he was out cutting his grass New Year's Day. And then I loaded my revolver and well, you know what happened next.
I had a similar incident with my dad recently went for an operation, and just a very minor operation, but he was...
what was it again? Was it a dick reduction? Was that
yeah,
what it was? Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
The didn't work though. It didn't work. They just couldn't get enough of.
Do you remember when you were involved in that horrible house fire and they had to graft your foreskin onto your face?
Yeah, I do. I remember that. I just tell people it's a birthmark now. It's just easier.
That was tragic.
Yeah.
But you know what's terrible though is they really should have washed it because of the amount of smeg on her face.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks. But I was going to say that my dad he had an operation on his knee, so he was kind of hobbling around the place. But I like he was just sitting down on the couch and he was just looking so I don't know.
Happy.
Yeah, the opposite of that.
Oh, sad.
And he just looked like, a man who's like, oh, I'm a bit worse for wear. And I just suddenly got a realization of my own parents' eventual mortality. And just for a split second, I thought, I should really appreciate them while they're here because someday they won't be. And then my dad had asked me to bring in blocks because I was home visiting my parents. He'd asked me to bring in blocks. And then at that exact moment that I was just thinking, exuding like eternal empathy for my father, he goes, "You fucking stacked the blocks all wrong, you fucking cunt."
End of existential
yeah,
crisis.
and I just thought, "Fuck you."
No, I was cleaning the engine of my car yesterday inside in the shed with my dad.
Good stuff.
And we're just he doesn't take direction very well, right? Which I can understand. I wouldn't want
you don't either.
I hate it, right? So, but I always told him, like I said, you've no obligation to clean any of these parts or do any of this car stuff. It's fine. He goes, no, I'll fucking give it a go. No, blah blah blah. So his grand sort of cleaning away, and he's very good at DIY stuff. And then you'd be cleaning away, and there'd be a lull, and you'd be like, yeah, this is grand now, just nice and silent. And then you just hear behind you, Andy Cole is the answer, but what is the question? You just want to fucking kill him. Anyway, episode 1 this week. It's me.
Yeah, it's actually quite like our relationships with our parents are quite like the relationship between Dervla and Tommy.
Really? That means nothing to our audience because they don't.
We'll get onto it.
All right, so you're going to read out some descriptions?
Yeah, where am I off to?
You were in the seminary last week and that got fairly hairy very quickly. So we'll send you. You know where you're going? You're going to Newgrange.
Newgrange.
Yeah, you're going to Newgrange.
Nice.
You're going to have to, because of the moving tectonic plates that run directly through the middle of Newgrange, producing the light. That's how the light is produced.
Yeah.
Through lava in the ground. You're going to have to strip nude and oil yourself up with
sage.
No, what is that?
You're a great improv partner. No, not that one.
No, I'm trying to think. What is that? What's that classic oil that everyone?
What are you, a doctor?
Oh, shut up. What is that? What is that classic oil that everyone uses in late 1980s Ireland when everyone was getting heart disease without knowing, before everyone switched to lighter cooking oils? It was
vegetable oil.
A huge. What is it called? I'm just going to look it up there. Oil.
This is
cooking.
Brilliant.
Oil cooking oil.
Great
Here,
stuff.
you have to keep the. I'm looking,
vamp,
so you have to keep it going. No.
Yeah, so I'm up in Newgrange. Fries.
Have you ever seen that? It's just vats of oil.
No.
It's just vats of like cardiovascular disease.
I've put this oil on me because I can't fit through the little passage in Newgrange.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay,
and it's a very, very tight passage, right?
Jeez.
No, even though you would have some experience of going into passages similar to that.
Yeah.
You're really struggling with this one. This is the tightest passage you've
that
ever.
Fruit was right at the top of the tree, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, you really are struggling with. This is one of the tightest passages you've ever had to enter. Yeah. So you oil yourself up.
Yeah. Head first, is it?
Yeah, grand.
Yeah.
I'm too giddy today. I had a few pints last night. I had 4 pints. And
That's your optimum number, isn't it?
oh God, lads, I am a hoot when I have 4 pints.
Yeah.
Doug in one of the episodes this week, he goes into the bar and he goes, "A pint, please."
Yeah.
What the fuck? If you went, what would you get if you ordered a pint?
That's like, do you remember our friend Ronan worked in a bar over the summer?
Smoky Ronan.
Yeah, and he said that it was like an American movie that a guy had a tourist from Boston came in, I think, and said, "I'll have 1 beer, please." And Ronan said, Ronan as well is just brilliant in scenarios like this. He just he'll never falter for stuff like this, and he goes, "Yeah, but what beer?" And the guy goes, "Just a pint of beer." And Ronan's like, I'd say almost having an aneurysm at this point.
Was that man Ned Flanders?
Yeah.
All right, so you're just squeezing through the first passage and you're finding it really tough, but you notice an engraving on the wall, and it's the first description to episode 1 of this week. So
Jesus.
Read it.
It says here that the first episode will be broadcast. Wow, this is fucking spooky. On Sunday, the 13th of January, 2019. When was this etched? And that it would involve Carol and Robbie warily anticipate Haley's return, while Doug worries when Dervla puts off leaving, and Alex takes his frustration out on Phoebe, and Oisin questions Lee's intentions. Wow. That's
Now,
creepy.
I'm going to nominate this
Yeah.
as the Carol, Robbie, Haley triangle as the worst storyline in Fair City so far.
Really?
Because of what they do in this. So just to update you, Robbie did the dirt on Haley and got back with his wife, Carol,
Yeah.
right? No, you can, and like Haley and Robbie were nearly going to get married like at this stage, and just bear that in mind when we start talking about what happens this week.
Yeah.
So scene 1, we're in the street. It's Jake, Chris and Will. Phoebe, Will's daughter, is starting work in the coffee shop part-time. Jake is mad about this because it's going to take hours away from Alex, who's trying to prevent himself from becoming homeless. But Chris thinks it'd be a good idea to cut his hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Scene 2, it's Carol and Sharon. Sharon is Haley's mother,
Yeah.
the one who got cheated on.
I'd say you're trying to remember yourself at this point.
Sharon calls over to her daughter's ex house and tells her daughter's ex and his wife to stay away from Haley.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a more stressful situation than that happening?
No. Could you imagine as well a scenario where you'd be fully on board for interacting with Haley? As if she needs to be told.
Oh,
don't.
I was actually taking it from the mother's point of view, not being the cheater.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
That's weird that you took it up like that.
Oh.
Scene 3, we're in the unnamed shop. It's Tommy and Damien.
Jeez, you're.
Go on, give it to me.
You're so enthusiastic today.
I am, yeah, I'm buzzing.
You're really.
Really, I'm telling you, man, I inhaled so much brake cleaner yesterday that I've probably only got hours to live, but I am buzzing.
You'd make such a bad teacher.
Why?
Because I could just picture.
Jesus, wait for this cutting statement. This isn't going to be like just an off the fucking cuff remark.
No, you just turn up like I wouldn't be a good secondary school teacher either, but you just turn up and you go, "Yeah, kids, yeah, we're sleeping today because I had a few too many
I'm
pints
telling
last
you,
night."
there is no fucking scenario where I come into a school, a class full of fucking students and say we're sleeping today.
Because that's what
that's
what scuppered your chances first time, wasn't it?
That's your fucking school world.
Oh, God.
All right, lads, into the big waterbed in the back again. Mr. O'Sullivan. I think I mentioned this before in a podcast, but there was a teacher, Mr. O'Leary, and his most famous statement was, one was very mean, but he had a bit of a lisp, so everyone said that it was in a school magazine. They put this in, and it was a picture.
You probably edited it.
It was a picture of him. No, I didn't. Not this one. It was it was a picture of him, and he was leaning over a counter, and it looked like he was ordering something.
Yeah.
And they put a speech bubble, and like they'd basically like photocopy it onto a sheet and then send it to print, like. And it was a speech bubble, and it said, "Can I have a wibbly wobbly wonder, please?"
Oh, no.
And so if you pronounce that like he did, it was a wibbly wobbly wonder. But poor Mr. O'Weary. But he was called Wee Wee as well, because that's what his name sounded like. That's the same guy who set his desk on fire and who started moving some stuff into the school.
Do you know, in one of our school magazines once,
Go on.
one of the female teachers that was considered quite attractive by,
You can say women are attractive. It's fine, Roger.
by the majority of the male populace of the school.
It's not you though. You're just busy in your studies,
No, I also found her attractive.
drawing manga.
She guess what? No, actually, but Guess what? Guess what she did in one of the school magazines?
A full naked spread in the middle of it.
No, she dressed it in one of the school uniforms.
Shut the flip up.
Yeah.
Really?
And they did a joke thing of like, oh, look, imagine me if I was a pupil. And the school wasn't the same afterwards.
Are we talking about like tied up fucking
I'm not going
shirt
into
thing?
this. I'm not going into this.
Well,
No.
what does this matter? She's a grown woman. It was her decision.
You used that defense before.
Oh, Lord. That's terrible. Like, I know I joke around, but that's fucking awful. Anyway, it's scene 4. Your mother used to be a teacher in that school, wasn't she? What was her name? Sister Saucy. Scene 4, we're in Vino's. You know what, though? Fuck Vino's. You know what, though? Imagine being a teacher. My friend there, Dermot, he's a teacher.
He's a great teacher, though, isn't he?
He's fantastic. Like, he's a brilliant teacher. But Jesus, could you imagine having that responsibility? Like, I can barely remember to bring my headphones to the studio. Like, I couldn't imagine. And I'm not just saying that as in like, oh man, like, but I really couldn't have the response. Every day you have to be on your game. Like,
yeah. I think it's no wonder teachers get burnt out and eventually a lot of them become shit.
Yeah, and I had a teacher who was really, really good, and when she got permanency, she was terrible.
Yeah,
she just didn't care. Don't blame her though.
No,
fuck those kids.
There's actually there's very little recourse for teachers that are shit.
What do you mean?
Like once they have permanency and stuff like that. Like there was a teacher in our school that was genuinely like couldn't do their job. Like they were supposed to teach languages and they barely knew the language, and it was an open secret with everyone. And they couldn't get the person fired. We
had a teacher who was on training, but he was much older, and he was doing religion. And he said, "Lads, is there anything?" And he'd book you. He'd say, "I'm going to put you in the book. If you do anything wrong, I'll book you." And then we would say back to him, "Please don't book us." But he would think that we were being serious, and it was working. We were just wanted to say book. And one day he said, "Lads, you can ask me any question you want now, and I'll answer it." It was basically kind of some sort of religion, sex ed, or some sort of mess like that, whatever class that was, CSP or something like that. And he said, "Any question you want." And then one guy goes, "Sir, why do we have hair on our balls?" And
that's a brilliant.
I can't remember his name.
That's a brilliant teacher.
The teacher, what was his name? But he basically tried to explain it. And it was Earnestly. Just awful.
Did I tell you about... I must have told you about cannons before. Did I tell you about that?
Cannons?
Cannons. What we did in transition years, we'd take a sheet of A4 paper from our refill pads.
Yeah.
We'd roll that into a cylinder. And then we'd take two other sheets of A4 paper, scrunch them up, and put them either side of the cylinder. So it looked very phallic. And then we'd take one sheet of A4 paper, rip that up into teeny tiny little strips, and put them inside the hollow of the main cylinder. So it really just looked like just a penis and balls.
Right.
And then as teachers would come in, because in transition year, you're just that age, you're like 15, 16, you're just that age that a teacher is so far removed from what age you are.
I like these stories because I can't figure out why you're doing this, but I hope there's a reason.
Oh, well, what we do is you'd be so far removed that the teacher would come in, see that we had built something, and we would make it look as much like a penis as we possibly could. And the teachers would go, "What the hell are you doing?" And we'd say, "Miss, we're just making cannons." And the teacher would be like, I have to take that on face value because I can't be sure that they don't know what they're doing. And then what we do is we'd pick up the cannons, aim them at another person's face, blow through the hollow of the cylinder, and watch as thousands of little semen-like sheets, ripped up pieces of paper would just spool all over your face, and you'd go, "Ah!"
Classic.
Yeah, and we'd go, "Oh, look, we shot him with the cannon, miss. Look at that."
Was there one guy suggesting this a lot, that you do this?
Yeah, it was me, yeah.
Yeah, thought it was you. A cat came into our school once, and it went into Johnny Meehan. And
it went into
yeah.
Climbed clean up inside.
Anally. But he went into him, and he was in the classroom, and he picked up the cat, and he was rubbing the cat, and he said, "Fucking just dead face to all the class. How do you like my pussy? It's just
Appalling.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Shocking. Did you get to the scene yet where Doug and Dervla are talking about how shit Dublin is?
Oh yeah, that's the stupidest scene in the world.
Yeah. Do you want? Will I put a little audio clip of it?
They're comparing. Is this? Are you assassinating Dolores here now? Is this not for like 2 more episodes?
No, this is in your episode, isn't it?
All right, so I'll just give him a bit of background. Doug and Dervla are talking. Or Dervla is saying that Vancouver is just just light years ahead of Dublin, and Dublin's too expensive and all this. Even though I'm fairly sure that Vancouver probably rate is like one of the top 10 most expensive places to live in the world.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
But go on, play this little clip.
Yeah, hopefully this works now.
Why don't we go into town for a wander?
Yeah, the past couple of hours, I guess.
Well, don't get too excited. I know Dublin isn't exactly as hip and happening as Vancouver.
Hardly recognise it. It's turned into a corporate capital with a pretty lousy vibe that goes with it.
And it's expensive.
Is this just the whole episode?
To pay the rent.
No,
Yeah.
it's just another
No wonder
10
all the artists
seconds.
and musicians have bailed.
Couldn't afford it.
My friend tells me there's piles of them living down in Wexford.
It's a shame, really.
Like there,
What did she say? Her friend has her living in a pod down in Wexford.
her friend says that all of the artists have left Dublin and they're living down in Wexford.
But she says pause or something, or pod. If you just go back like two things.
My friend tells me there's piles of them living down in Wexford.
Piles of them.
Piles
them
of
living down in
artists.
Wexford. Yeah.
That's what happened, right, though. All the artists left.
Yeah.
That's why there's no scene up there.
Yeah, all the artists left and turned into fucking landlords.
Jesus, though. There's loads of comedians up there. They didn't leave at all.
No, they didn't.
Weird.
Yeah.
They're getting on grand. Scene 5 are in Bruisers. Alex is pissed off that they hired another person. What I really love about Fair City and the writing that they do in this, right? And again, not really the writers, because I'm fairly sure that there is a tyrannical leader with 3 or 4 henchmen who just tell the writers what to write.
Yeah.
Like, we want this scene, blah, blah, blah.
Crack the whip.
So not the writers, because I don't think they have any control. But they do something where they say, this person is going to be annoyed if we do this. And then that thing happens, and then that person is annoyed. It's just they're saying what's happening, and then it happens. There's no surprise.
Yeah.
There's no you can just it's the Fair City paradox where nothing happens but everything happens.
Yeah, that's true. They where simultaneously you have people that can't even sort out who's going to get the hours down at the coffee shop, and then you have somebody who used to be a shift manager in an unnamed shop that's gone to Syria.
So I find that some of the things are just not linking up in any way whatsoever.
No.
And then some of them are so plainly in your face that you're just like, well, what's the point in even watching it? Like, well, that's the end of episode 1, and I think our audience really got a good, clear idea of what all that episode was about.
Yeah, pretty good, eh?
No, I didn't cover any of it. We just chatted about school.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, do you know, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
Do you know what? I enjoyed watching Fair City this week.
Oh, Jesus, Roger. Every single week. It's a bad joke at this stage where you say you enjoyed it every week. This was terrible. This week was awful. What did you enjoy about this week?
What
was your favourite storyline this week, so that you enjoyed it so much?
Favourite storyline this week? Jeez, there's so many to choose from. I would say Dervla and Doug hanging out. I like that.
And what's the storyline?
The storyline. Dervla is keeping secret the fact that I can't assassinate Dolores. I'm gonna give away a bit of a plot spoiler. I'd say fine. So we'll go with Alex and Phoebe. They're tete-a-tete, and Jake trying to help out.
Oh, fantastic! That's why you enjoyed it.
Yeah, because Jake was coming up trumps.
So all right, grand. You're in Newgrange. You're just going in this very tight passage, and you see the first etching, and you push in a little bit more, but it's dark and you can't really see anything. You can only go by feel, and you feel a little bit of resistance, and you're getting worried about what this object or solid thing might be.
Yeah.
But you push on regardless.
Of course.
And it just seems to go away somewhere. And then you reach down and there's a rock and you pick it up and it's got the next episode description on it.
So it says that this episode is to be broadcast in the 15th of January 2019, which will be a Tuesday. And it says that...
Why are you reading them in the future tense?
Because I'm uncovering these written by ancient druids in Newgrange.
Right.
John, pick up on that, no?
No, I got that bit, but it's just confusing.
Alex swallows his pride and apologizes to Phoebe so he can keep his job. And Tommy grills Dervla for information, but she refuses to engage. I'll just get rid of all the mysticism, will I? Yeah?
Oh, you're
no
such
magic.
You're such a brat.
Sorry, lads, no magic. Sorry about that. Scene 1 anyway. Alex immediately
Sorry,
apologizes.
there's only a bit of milk if you don't use all of it, please, Roger. Oh, why? I want all of the milk.
I didn't want to get into this, but whenever I go over to your house,
Oh, here we go.
there's never milk.
Here we go.
There's never milk. You say, "How do you take her coffee?" As if it fucking matters, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody once said,
Well,
why
right.
give me an option?
I can't lug a fucking milk churn over from your house, right? Because your mother can only produce so much per week, and like the amount of tea you have, like, sure, the woman will be half killed.
Dennis. My good.
Go on,
God.
say, keep going.
My God. Yeah. So scene 1 anyway. Alex apologizes to Phoebe straight away. We're led into the little tidbit that Alex plays Fortnite. Of course he does.
He probably flosses.
He does, yeah, I bet he does. Good dental hygiene, yeah. And I bet he listens to the band Drake. And he probably...
And that's just the women. Come on.
Dennis. He cares a lot about coffee, he says. And it keeps him up at night.
Yeah,
That's a good one-liner.
For a guy who that is a good one-liner, in fairness.
Yeah.
For a guy who really likes coffee, though, and who works in a coffee shop, did you see how they make the coffee?
No.
It's just a filter.
Oh!
Like on a fucking hob.
Oh, here's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Everywhere in Carrickstown, right? They use Robert's coffee.
But you're helping them.
No, I'm not. But
You just advertise for
But they
them.
put it they make it like in a diner type filter, like you said,
Yeah.
like in a. Nowhere does that.
No, and if you keep that on the hob for too long, the coffee will become bitter.
It burns out the coffee.
Yeah, it becomes very bitter.
I'd
say you were kept in a hob for a while, were you, today?
Oh, come on. Are you? That doesn't even make sense anymore. Are you? What's going on?
It's because
now?
your arse is red and you're bitter. That's why.
Brilliant.
What were we saying? The coffee, Roberts. Oh yeah, no, the worst conspiracy of all of Fair City, right? And I invite all our listeners to check out Fair City and watch this. Is Haley, one of the characters? She wears the fucking colours of the unnamed supermarket that sponsors Fair City.
You're fucking right.
And this week they went to a whole new level, right? Usually they get her to wear black, white, and red, right, which is the generic colours of this unnamed supermarket. This week she was wearing basically a Beetlejuice suit, right? And she was holding a red business folder. Like, that's the lengths they're going to. How the hell did they write that into a contract? One of the characters must wear the colours of the fucking supermarket.
Hey, here's a question for you. Do you think that if you were working on Fair City as an actor, do you think you'd find it awkward that they dress you in the way they think of the character?
I was actually looking at that today, and Will and Chris are always dressed well, and then Jake is kind of... he's not dressed unwell, but he's just dressed a little bit lower than them.
Yeah, it's like... If Chris found out that he had to go to a work do, he'd get away with it. But Jake they'd be a bit like, oh, did you come from...
What was the original question? Do they feel uncomfortable?
Do you think you'd feel uncomfortable? Like, did they dress you whatever way they think you are? Or like...
They dress you whatever way they think the character is, though.
Yeah. But like, do you think you'd find that uncomfortable that you'd just be like, oh, so this is what my character is?
No.
No?
Because I don't want to be a shit, like, but they're just actors.
Okay.
You know?
That's fine. Here, look, this proves what we were talking about. In my notes for scene 2, Dervla is hanging out in the Hungry Pig, and everywhere in Fair City uses a filter Roberts coffee machine.
Right, so it's a new conspiracy.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not getting any, like, fucking back money from Roberts.
No. Like, I understand why they'd use Roberts coffee. It's delicious. You know, it stays, keeps its flavour a long time. It's full bodied.
Yeah, it's coffee-ish.
Yeah.
But
So, do you know
who are you joking, though, that you fucking drink coffee for its taste?
I do, yeah.
You do in your hole.
I do occasionally.
You just pour it back, like. You do.
I just use it to oil up my body, basically, just on the inside. Do you know, actually, I was having... Do you know who's a big fan of Turkish coffee?
Who?
It's your mother.
Real nice.
And she'll prepare it for the Ottoman Empire.
Here, I'll have you know that my mother is not a fan of the Turkish
coffee, yeah.
Because of her love of the Ottoman Empire.
Well, she prepares it and she gives it to them and she goes, how do you like it on there, boys?
She would never drink Turkish coffee.
Have you ever had it?
I've had it with
Oh,
you.
shit. Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
It was, in fairness, I think we were fooling ourselves. It tasted like
shit,
it tastes like mud.
Mud, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something kind of a bit nice about it. Do you remember when we were buying it? We were like, Jesus, like it was like €7 a cup.
We were having a collective nervous breakdown
Yeah.
over in Edinburgh.
But it said €7 for a cup of Turkish coffee and Turkish Delight, and we thought, well, maybe there's €6 worth of Turkish Delight, which I'm sure we don't even care for Turkish Delight that much anyway. And it comes out with a tiny granule of Turkish Delight. Just
fucking a button that it was a button that a child made of sweets would wear on their coat.
Yeah, pretty much. What an odd description. Scene 3. Sharon is feeling sick, and Haley brings some donuts for breakfast. Have you ever had donuts for breakfast?
No, I'm telling you, man. My fucking most favorite thing in the whole world is when people bring me breakfast, and it never happens.
Never happens.
No,
Do you
it's
remember-
unbelievable.
I brought Denis, just to give you a little insight into our relationship. I brought you, because you told me you were hungover one day, I brought you a bar of Cadbury's chocolate.
Yeah, you
and,
did.
And a Fanta.
Yeah, it was amazing. Unexpected food is the best thing.
Yeah?
After blowjobs. How'd you like that? We need a woo woo buzzer.
We're not getting one
I'm
of
getting
those.
a woo woo buzzer for next week.
Here's a question for you. So what would you do if somebody was performing oral sex upon you?
Upon me. It's very...
Upon you. They were performing it and you were like, God, it can't get much better. And then...
You brought me in a free breakfast.
But no, they don't even look up. They just raise their hand and up to your eye level, they bring up a bacon double cheeseburger.
We'd both be drowned.
You'd both be swallowing.
Yeah. I'd hand solo myself to be so much.
Oh my God.
I'd never. You know what I just thought there though, and this is terrible. I have never thought about eating while performing a sexual act. That sounds like I wouldn't even have the brain power to carry out the two of them.
It's like patting your stomach and wanking yourself off.
I'd probably start choking or something.
I think you shouldn't try it.
Well, I probably won't have much opportunity to do so anyway.
You've definitely eaten in bed, but you haven't done
Oh man, you know it's a fucking absolute nightmare world is eating a packet of Hobnobs in bed.
Can I one up you on that?
Go on.
Cream crackers in bed. You'll be sleepy on glass.
No.
You'll be sleepy on glass for the next year.
I woke up this morning and there was an Allen key and a thumbtack in my bed.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Did they go into you?
No.
Jesus, that's risky.
You know, yeah.
I fell asleep on my own headphones once, and and they had curled up by the side of my face, and I essentially had like and do you know that embedding into your face?
You're a part of like a Thailand gang.
Yeah, I had like one of those fucking triad things on the side of my face.
My friend Tom once fell asleep on his arm with his arm underneath his back, and he woke up in the morning and he felt something wriggling next to him, and he thought it was a rat.
Oh my God.
And he started screaming, but it was his hand because his arm had gone so numb.
Oh, do you want to hear something weird that happened
No, I
to me?
want to hear fucking Fair City, man.
Fine. Scene 6 anyway. Dervla meets up with Tommy at the old Dolphin Pod, and they have a heart-to-harp. He snoops in her bag.
Did you say a harp to harp?
I did, yeah. Do you remember last week when you said, one thing we have to do is we have to stop commenting on when one of us makes a little mistake?
That's going over the line on. A fucking harp.
They had a little carp to carp, and he snoops around in her bag and he steals something. Scene 7 then, where Jake gives Alex his lunch. Apparently,
Who steals something?
Tommy steals something from Dervla's bag.
Oh.
So, we don't know what that is. Scene 7 then.
He probably needed a pad. Oh my God. Here, do you hear those big silences? We can't have those.
Well, stop throwing out garbage. Will you do that, will you? Scene 7. Jake gives Alex his lunch. Apparently, Alex gets lunch for working in the Brewsters. He just gets given it for school. Don't know why. And Jake tells Alex...
it's not fucking Brewsters, it's Bruisers. And
Brewsters,
you know it is.
It's Brewsters. Jake tells Alex that he was homeless when he was younger. And Alex admits to Jake that he is using the money he makes from Brewsters to fund his...
trip to Berlin.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Berlin?
Yeah, it's fantastic. No, it's actually not. I'm actually going to take that back. It's not that fantastic. Well, it's funny. There's some cool things there, but it's not as It's not as fun as you might think it is.
Did you see those? I don't have any opinion on it. So, did you see those? The myriad people now that have had their pictures taken, like posing in front of
on the Jewish memorial.
Yeah, without realizing what it is.
The coolest thing in Berlin, there's a Jewish memorial, and it's like right bang in the middle of the center or city center, and it's very hard to describe it, but it's all different shapes, rectangular shapes, and some of them are high, some of them are low, and also it's kind of like is it concave? There's like it's basically kind of as you walk into them, they tower around you and stuff, and then as you walk into the monument, it gets lower and lower and lower, and it's like, you know, all these different shapes and whatever. But the coolest thing about it, now you may correct me on this, but you interpret what it means in terms of the Holocaust.
Really?
Yeah, so there's no explanation there as to what it is. You interpret what it is.
I like that. That's
pretty cool.
good.
But what
yeah.
you were saying was there's just people doing handstands on it and taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And then some other guy photoshops in Holocaust pictures behind them. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Here's a question for you though, because you've been there. Because I've always wondered, like some of the pictures, they do look like the people just don't know what.
No, they don't have a clue what it is. But it is like, I mean, it's just you couldn't mistake it for anything other than a memorial.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, it's like really striking, and you know, there's loads of people around there, and
a lot of reverence and stuff.
Yeah, they know why they're going there, but they're just Egypts.
I think that it's a bit like the time that you were in Derby County and you
went on the lion.
It's a ram.
Oh, it's a ram. Will we see what the ram actually is about Derby County? So when I was about 10, I jumped up on a ram.
Our friend Thomas,
a fake one made of I don't know,
made of sheep. Our friend Thomas is from Derby, and Denis would tell this story as if it was class that he jumped on a lion, and then Thomas totally stole his thunder and told him it was just a lame old ram.
All right, the Derby ram is comes from a folk story or some crap. Oh my God, that doesn't look like, lads. So there's a representation of the ram in East Street, Derby, and I swear to God, it just looks like a load of mala.
Yeah, it's terrifying looking. It's like, do you ever go to Macroom? Do you know that bull?
I know Macroom. I was actually reading Macroom Matters yesterday in my local newspaper. Yeah.
I'd say it doesn't matter much.
I was just going to say spoiler. It doesn't.
But there's a bull in Macroom that is really a stunning.
Oh, I've seen it. My friend posed next to it on all fours. Shout out to Sean.
Brilliant. But it's a brilliant sculpture. But the artist, to give an illusion of like the kind of the fur of the bull, they took like huge chunks out of it. And it strikes me as a friend of mine, for his Leaving Cert art project, had started painting a sunset. And then his art teacher, this is for part of his deliverables, like this is going towards 25% of his actual result. His art teacher told him, I don't think it should be a sunset, just paint it as day. So he paints blue over that. And then she comes back and goes, no, actually a sunset's much nicer. So he has to paint a sunset back over that again. And then she says, yeah, you actually ruined the whole painting now.
Our art teacher kept saying that there's no such thing as white. So if you had anything that was, even if you painted with white, she would say there's no such thing as white, and then she'd come over and go, there's no such thing as white, there's no such thing as white, and then she would get the paintbrush and start like painting over whatever you had.
What? Mm-hmm. That seems insane.
I remember I went to my dad once and I painted a picture of some sort of beetle toy, and it was a pencil drawing, and I was dead proud, right? And I went out to my dad and I goes, that's why I'm doing art, Dad. And he goes, yeah. That was it. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. So end of the episode anyway. Tommy calls round to pick up Dervla so they can go for a drink and catch up.
Are we nearly at the end of this episode?
Yeah. And what?
You did like one scene though.
No, I did a few. Did
I just miss them?
Okay, fine. I'll go back over a few, right? Scene 14. These are the important ones.
You're usually the one cribbing about not doing scenes.
Fine. Scene 14, right? Callum arrives with a takeaway. Him and Tessa are going to have a lovely, lovely night in. Oisin comes over and says, well, I don't think you will, because I think Tessa is going to go hang out with Lee to sort out these business deals. Also,
Lee is two different characters at the moment, which isn't unusual for Fair City to have totally different character personalities.
If you remember, Will, when we first started watching Fair City, Will was like the epitome of the absolute lawful good, like best individual you could possibly meet. Then it turned out that he's a secret sex pest who's been having affairs for about I don't know, 20 years or something like
Secret
that.
sex pest.
Yeah, he's just been having it off behind his wife's back for 20 years while she's down in Cashel, God help the woman. And now they've done the same thing with Lee, where Lee was pretty much our favourite character. Like, we loved Lee.
Wayne's my favourite character.
You
Wayne's World.
You have a strange complex with Wayne. But now Lee is bloody trying to steal Tessa from Callum.
Yeah, but when he's at home, his mother bosses him around and he's a really nice guy. And then when he's out, he just stares at Callum.
And steals people's girlfriends, yeah. So basically, Tessa arrives home, is ready to go for to have the meal with Callum. Turns out that she must go off and have a pint with Lee and McCoy's. And Oisin and Callum have a sad takeaway together. Oh, and then Tommy returns he finds out that Dervla was actually, the documents he stole were notices of her deportation from Canada. And he lets her know that, gives them back to her. And they had just been about to reconcile. I bet they won't reconcile. I bet they won't. But before the end of the week.
Do you know why she was deported?
Why?
She was caught dogging. All right, that's the end of episode 2. I'm always a little bit excited when an episode ends, but then
Yeah?
I'm not excited because it's my turn.
Yay! I have to say, you are much worse at this than I am.
At what?
At just
What is this? No, but
broadcasting.
what is this overall? Like, what is this?
This is
what are we
broadcasting.
doing?
I think what we're doing is we're doing resistance training in conversations.
Are we broadcasters?
Yeah. I know. I think we're narrowcasters.
Narrowcasters. Do you know what's that thing called? Was it calisthenics or is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
But you know, there was a big fad in America in the 50s. That was probably
Yeah.
wrong. And when I say big fad, that just means like 4 people were doing it. That's also
Yeah.
lies. But there was people who were doing like resistance training. And when I say resistance, I mean like pushing against a wall to increase their strength because they thought that was like...
Yeah.
And so if you pushed against a large object, it meant you were actually kind of pushing it. And that's how you'd build up your strength. But it was all nonsense.
Have you ever seen people doing condition training? I think that's what it's called, like CrossFit type stuff.
Yeah.
If you just sit there and watch them do it in the park, they'll actually eventually ask you to leave. It's ridiculous. But no, it looks like they're practicing for recording a montage of an FBI training scene.
There was
1990s
lads
movie.
down in the park and they were doing what's that thing with the ropes and the hoops?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah?
They're whipping the big ropes.
Yeah. They're whipping each other's arses and stuff in the park.
Yeah.
I think it's called arse whipping or
Do you know
something.
if you try and get involved with that, they won't like it one bit.
Fuckers, like-
I brought my own rope and everything.
It's a team sport.
Brought my own rope.
Scene 3, or episode 3, I should say.
Scene 3 of the podcast.
We're up in Newgrange. You have worked yourself deep into this passage.
Am I anywhere near the center, the epicenter?
No, you're nowhere near anything like that.
I can't even see the light anymore.
No,
can I?
it's completely dark.
It's shut up behind me, hasn't it?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Here, look, we have to get control of these fucking silences.
I think it could be just my imagination, but I think it's starting to pulsate.
Oh, you're a sick man. So yeah, you're in there, and there is a kind of a throbbing noise that you can. Roger just hit himself in the face. Hit himself in the face with the microphone.
Even Eric thought I was pathetic for doing that.
Oh, Eric. Eric.
Careful now, or I'll come in there.
Eric was caught in the old cleaner's closet the other day. With his mop out.
Yeah, poor lad. It was all around the fucking office.
Yeah, all around the office. God knows what they're doing when we turn off the lights here at night.
And let's just say, Eric hadn't been trimming the flails of his mop, if you catch my drift.
No, he's a bushy boy.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that either.
No. You can be all natural if you want. I think the ultimate burden of men is the fact that we have to shave between our eyebrows.
Jesus Christ. Roger. Like, I know you're just doing a subtle joke there, like the ultimate burden of men, but my God, there's people with pitchforks that are heading down to your fucking place in the airport after that statement. The ultimate burden of men. You should write a book.
That does sound like a book that some Enoch Powell would have written in the 1920s or something.
It sounds like someone in the far right would write these days. And you know what? Go ahead and write it for yourself.
Yeah.
You deserve it. We were talking about a mop and pubes. How do you treat your pubes?
How do I treat them?
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah?
Yeah, short-term contract.
Yeah. Friend of mine, do you razor your balls? Friend of mine razored his balls completely.
Off.
Yeah, he's no balls.
Poor lad.
He's a eunuch. But no, he razored his balls in college, and we were inside in Marks and Spencer's having a look around, not actually buying anything. And he was there, and he was like, I shaved him, and I was like, what's wrong? And he was like, my balls are burning, burning. Yeah, so I've never shaved them that tight. To be honest, would you take good care of your pubes? No, like, would you keep them to a certain length, or are you just?
I'll be honest. Do you know, you were looking at my,
or are they just fucking dreadlocks down there? Like?
You're looking at my hair now. Do you know the hair on my head? Yeah.
Roger also likes to podcast in the nude.
Yeah. I treat them the same way I do with the hair in my head, where I probably wait a month longer every time to get it cut than I should.
Where you pay a man €30 to cut it.
Yeah.
Every 3 months. All right. This
Short
is
back and sides.
Episode 3. Episode 3.
And that's just what she said.
Oh, shut up. Scene 1. It's the street.
Hey, hang on. I've got to give the description.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Wednesday, 16th of January.
Oh, look at that fluffy dog. Look out the window at the fluffy dog. Look how fluffy he is. he is having the time of his life.
When I looked out the studio window, and I was just darting around to see where's this fluffy dog, and my eyes caught just a white object, what I thought it was, but that was actually a soccer ball. So I just saw a boy kick it into the air and start volleying it on his foot.
Why didn't you question it?
I was like, Jesus Christ! And you were saying at this exact moment, he's having a great time.
Scene 1.
Sharon insists on inviting Carol and Robbie to dinner. Under duress, Carol agrees, but will the night end in tears? Jake pushes Alex to be honest with Melanie. Tommy and Derbla have a harp to harp. Tessa warns Callum she doesn't want a needy boyfriend.
Right, so at the start of the podcast, I gave you a few crumbs, and here's the cake. Haley's mother, Sharon, is organising a dinner for the person that cheated on Haley and humiliated her, and also his wife that he cheated on her with, and the daughter's going to be there, and all of her family, and they're going to have a dinner together. Why? Mm-hmm. Now, just honest to God, why is this happening? Why do you think? Like, as in, you're in the writer's room. The tyrant and the 3 henchmen come in. The poor writers are there, strapped to the tables with like fucking fingers for pencils, and they pencils for fingers. And why is this suggested as a storyline?
Honest to God.
Like, as in, what are they trying to do for the characters in this? What's the game plan? What's the reasoning?
Haven't a bloody clue.
Are you even fucking listening to me?
I couldn't imagine what the reasoning was.
I can see you Googling stuff on your laptop and you're just fucking zoned out.
I'm still paying attention to you. You've ruined that now.
Ruined what?
You've ruined what I was going to do.
Oh, you're such a... I'm taking all the milk. All right, scene 1, we're in the street. It's Alex. Actually, I just want to tell you one thing that you'll enjoy. My friend Diarmid, he sent me a voice message during the week, and it was basically just an impersonation of me, just mocking me, and it was a fake interview between 2 people, one of them being a bad impersonation of me, and it was, oh my God, what? I can't tell you what he is looking up at the moment, but it was...
Will I give it a go?
Oh, what are you doing?
Hello?
What is that?
Hello?
What I was looking up is a soundboard for prank calling people.
Yeah.
Hi. What are you up to on this fine afternoon?
What
if I give you like 300? Oh, gosh darn it.
All right, stop.
Oh, gosh darn it.
Why were you looking that up?
I work in IT sales and support.
That's true.
Yeah, no, so he rang me up all he messaged, and it was, so hello, hi Denis, and what do you do? And it was just, I love comedy. And it was just that for 2.5 minutes.
Brilliant.
It was class.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
You're fucking brilliant as an old co-anchor on this fucking thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a regular Ron Burgundy.
Can I tell you something?
Go on, yeah.
Can I confide in you?
Go on. Oh my God, you've no notes, you're stalling. That's what you're doing, is it? Oh,
I didn't take notes on this episode.
You flipping rat.
I didn't take notes on this episode.
Did you watch it?
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So,
What have you been doing all week?
what have I been doing all week?
No, that's what we're going to do for 15 minutes.
Don't do that.
Right, you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah?
Oh, with this week I was working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
How long for on Thursday?
Like 3 hours.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So today's Sunday.
Yeah.
We're recording this. So what happened? Like,
What happened?
when you go? I thought you'd be running home from work on Thursday to fucking watch this stuff.
I'll be honest with you.
Didn't you say that you were going to watch them as they came out?
As they came out, yeah. Can I be honest with you?
Go
this
on.
week really got away from me.
Roger, this is a pattern. This is a pattern. A lot of the weeks are getting away from you now.
Do you know, I was thinking the other day that if I was to go to counselling and mention what I do for supposed fun, watching Fair City and recording this, they would just immediately tick a box that says disassociative episodes.
I'd imagine that we probably, and not to make fun of people who actually suffer from this, but obviously that's what I'm doing, I suppose, really, so I should probably stop. But I'm just saying that there's a good chance that we might get some sort of PTSD from this.
Yeah, I think so. Do you know, I think what really scares me is the fact that the people in Fair City, as much as we spend a lot of time joking about the fact that their lives are completely stagnant and they don't move on and they don't progress. But it's when it really hits home is when their lives haven't progressed, but they've still progressed further than yours have in the last year.
Yeah. And the characters are the same as the actors. But thanks for that. Don't worry about it. I like the way you kind of barely, throw up the ball, but I fucking hit it out of the park.
You hit it out of the park, do you? Can I just encourage all listeners to please go see Denis do a comedy gig to do what he terms knock it out of the park?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Knock one out on stage. That's what I love doing.
Oh my God.
I supposedly last night I was doing a gig in a club in Cork, City Limits. And when I went in there, the owner told me that I received 3 email complaints for a joke I did about wanking.
Yeah.
So I told him that was ludicrous and to show me the emails. But unfortunately, he had destroyed the emails.
He'd printed them out and burnt them, hadn't he?
Yeah. It's the only way to get rid of emails.
Yeah.
You forget your recycle bin.
Or you can message another Facebook page we have that's called Delete All Emails.
Yeah. If you just message thank you and send us screenshots of the messages that you want to get rid of because of your infidelities, we'll sort them out.
Don't you worry. But go on there with the episode. Go on.
It's me, is it?
Yeah, it's still you.
But you don't have any notes. And
so I'm deferring to you.
I don't have any notes either.
That can't be true.
Why? What am I meant to do?
You were supposed to do 3.
So why? But I thought the way you were talking was that you were going to do 3 and it was a disaster because you don't know notes.
I usually have some notes because I don't trust you.
So this was my episode, in fact.
Yeah.
And the whole lot of this was just complete waste of time to start.
Well, I don't think so, no.
Why not?
Because, no, it was actually.
Yeah, it was complete waste of fucking time.
Okay, go on.
Did you read the Beano or the Dandy?
Beano.
Yeah.
Beano man myself, yeah.
I don't know why I hated the Dandy so much.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. Like, who was your favourite character from the Beano?
Oh, Dr. Beano, I'd say.
Oh, come on.
No, I'd say...
Denis the Menace?
You see, what really pissed me off about Denis the Menace is that he popularised the spelling of Denis with 2 N's.
Oh, here we go.
So that really fucking irritated me. But that's the way the other lads spell Denis. I won't say who they are, stunt. But, okay, so it's scene 1. We're in the street. It's Alex, Melanie, and Jake. Alex is going on a trip and lying about paying for it. Scene 2. Sharon is going to invite Robbie and Carol to dinner. And then I just noted this is fucking awful nonsense, as explained already, because it is.
Oh, okay.
Andrew tries to get out of it, and Lee has to hoover the living room.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're really trucking along here at a fairly high pace.
Yeah, you're bloody killing it.
Scene
Man,
3.
you're knocking it out of the park.
Scene 3, we're in the unnamed supermarket. Dervla's handing out CVs. She's definitely going to get a job. And Tommy wants to help her with her lawyer fees.
Have you ever gotten a job by handing out CVs?
Never in my life.
Yeah, I don't think you can,
It's
really.
the most fucking degrading, humiliating thing.
Most places will tell you they won't take them.
No.
Yeah.
Was there ever a fucking time that they took CVs and actually hired people?
I'd say just, I guess, 1800s.
Yeah, I'd say you're right.
Because if you turned up with a written document in the 1800s...
I'd say the last time someone got a job out of a CD or CV was written on a fucking...
CD? What? Oh, you said CD and you meant CD.
Are you mad at me now that I slagged you about a fucking hour ago or something?
Yeah, I am, yeah. Still the same podcast.
Do you know what that kind of confrontational stuff does to our ratings, like? Fuck's sake.
I don't know.
Scene 3, I don't know, brilliant. It's top, I don't know.
I don't.
Classic. That's going to be their favourite line now, I don't know.
I don't know.
Tommy wants to help with her lawyer fees.
What are you, a doctor?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What are you, a doctor?
Damien has a job, but Tommy can't do it, so they're going to give it to Dervla. But I thought she's a chef. So
yeah.
Damien has a moving job that he needs a hand with, right? And then in the next scene, he asks Dervla to help. Now, Dervla is quite a slight woman and wouldn't be great at lifting stuff around the place. Not that she wouldn't be able for it, you know?
You'd love her.
But Damien...
You'd love to have her lifting a few things around for you.
Damien...
Yeah?
Why?
Lift that there, love.
Why would I like a woman to lift things for me?
That's your thing.
Lifting, I like when I see
you
women
like
lifting
when women
things.
lift, yeah.
I don't know.
Your Tinder profile just says, if you can lift a bag of sugar, you're my kind of gal.
Yeah, that's my only criteria.
Yeah.
And
lift a 1 kg weight.
Yeah, and yours is if you can't lift a bag of sugar. I'll let you figure that one out. Smaller hands. Scene 3, we're in supermarket. Callum wants to go to Amsterdam with Tessa and Fionn. Lee is making snaky moves. Oh, and then how you know as well that Tessa wants to have sex with Lee is because she's laughing when she's talking on the phone. And if Fair City has taught me anything, if a woman is laughing at a man, it means she wants to have sex with him.
Have you never had sex though?
No.
I've never seen a woman laugh at anything you've said.
In what fucking scenario would you even find that happening anyway?
Well, I wonder, a man who does comedy gigs.
Where would you be like?
A man who does comedy gigs for
All right, well, I don't flirt with my audience, Roger.
Well, neither do I.
Unlike you.
Just can't help it. They're attracted to me.
Haley has a business folder. Are you still... You know what? I'll leave you off.
Yeah?
Yeah. Scene 4, we're in Vino's. Damien asks Dervla if she wants to clear out the house for some money, cash in hand. But Damien will do the heavy lifting. So she's not doing anything.
Do you know, here's the other thing. Damien's actual job, I believe, isn't he a qualified plumber or something like that?
I don't know what the fuck he is.
And yet...
Kidnapped his kid.
Oh, yeah, to be honest. And he is doing nixers.
What is their fucking fascination with the word nixer?
Nixer.
Richard Nixer.
I've never been offered even the opportunity to do a nixer.
No.
So do the writers in Fair City, are they all being paid cash in hand?
They must be, I'd say.
I'd say every single one of them, to a man and woman, are being paid.
I'd say they get paid in food from the Hungry Pig.
Oh, here, do you know the sliders?
That's not true. I just take it back.
You're pathetic. Do you know the sliders?
Yeah.
They look delicious. Are they in my episode? Are they in the next episode?
I don't know. What the fuck are you talking about?
The burgers that Dervla hands out.
I don't know. I'm still fucking driven mad after you said that thing about Chris Farley about 3 weeks ago.
I'm sorry, he's just shit.
Scene 6, we're in the street. Will and Jake. The school trip isn't being funded by the school. And Jake tells... Oh, Jesus, who cares?
You should never have an auto cue.
Who cares?
I can just imagine you presenting the Oscars. And we're here tonight to welcome all of the people from the Academy. And, oh, fuck that. Yeah, anyway.
Scene 7, we're in the Hungry Pig. And Callum joins Lee and Tessa in their meeting. That was awful. They're doing... I don't know as any of these feckin' people who have been... Have anyone... I'd say they're honest to God, right? There are people who are in the production staff of Fair City, right? Sure, they're hardworking and everything, but there is someone in there who has just been in Fair City now for so long that they have completely lost their connection to the outside world. So the outside world that they're writing about doesn't exist, and it makes no sense. It is like kind of watching propaganda fucking films, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe that, yeah.
Do you know? As in, like, if we were sent these... Fair City looks like something that North Korea would give to its followers to say, like, oh, this is happening up in the capital.
Really? You think so, yeah?
Yeah, that's the level of... it's North Korean propaganda is the level of Fair City production.
Has there ever been an attempt to make a soap in Cork City?
I've no idea. I'll have a look.
Would you watch that? What would you call it? Leeside or something?
Oh
would you?
Jesus, they wouldn't all, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'd call it Leeside.
Leeside.
Leeside, and the main family would live in Shandon Bells.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
They'd be living in the Bells. They'd be working on. They'd be living off of Nixers constantly, and the first month worth of storylines would be about the first TV coming to Cork City.
There was another soap called something like, it was a country one. It was the country version of Fair City.
You're not talking about Glenroe, no?
No, it was a different one. There's Bracken and the Reardons. I think it's the Reardons.
Yeah.
And Tulka Row, that was a Dublin one again. But Bracken was starring.
Bracken sounds like a hard-nosed detective.
Bracken. This was in County Wicklow.
Oh.
Wait a minute. What the hell is going on?
We're recording a podcast about Fair City. We've been doing it for 28 weeks.
So I'm just going to read this off of Wikipedia, right? Bracken is a television drama serial broadcast from 1978 to 1982, right? It depicts rural life in and around County Wicklow, and it stars Gabriel Byrne and Neil Tobin.
What?
Right? Or Niall Tobin. And then it goes on. It goes, the show is chiefly known for being the link between two long-standing RTE series, in that Gabriel Byrne's character, Pat Barry, had first appeared in the Reardons towards the end of that show. And then the characters of Denis and Miley Byrne first appeared on this series, and then they became the stars of Glenroe.
What? So that's our Frasier.
Yeah, pretty much. And each of the 3 series were created by this man, Wesley Burrows.
No, Wesley Burrows.
Yeah. We've got trouble.
He's dead.
Wesley Burrows, he's dead, was an Irish playwright and screenwriter, originally from Northern Ireland.
Oh, no.
He became a resident of the Republic of Ireland.
Jesus. I'd say there's some stories behind that.
Interesting.
Curious, yeah.
Wouldn't look in his attic, that's all I'm saying.
No. Wouldn't dig up his back garden either.
All right, so that's... I think since he's dead, we should be grand. Okay, I don't know what's happening. I've nothing left. I'm all out of juice. The engine is empty.
Would you like it down there, boys?
Gonna sit back now in my recliner. Oof, yes, my work is over. Back onto you, old Raj. How are you feeling?
You're
a bit ratty.
I'm excited. Do you know? Imagine we were doing, because this is a lot like relay racing. I imagine. I've never done a relay race, but
have you ever won a race?
Have I ever won a race? Yeah, 3-legged race.
No way.
3-legged race in primary school.
Who was attached to you?
Darren O'Neill. And we had a system of, we modelled our running system off of, I would say, the classic row system that would have been used.
Is that what that system is called?
Yeah, with like Athenian slaves for rowing the ships.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, row.
I have seen Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah, and we actually we paid another friend of ours to just beat like a tin penny so that we could keep beat on the side of the...
Do you have a fascination with them?
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. They're so big. Boom, boom, boom. And then we fucking sprinted on. And it was
so in a way,
unbelievable.
what you're saying is you won that 3-legged race because of you're inspired by slave ships.
Yeah. No, do you know what it was like? It was like, do you know in Pacific Rim? Do you know when they drift? Mm-hmm. That's what it's called, isn't it? Where two people's brains become one. That's what happened on that day. And also all the other athletic people didn't turn up. So we really showed them. So
it was a 3-legged race, but there was also only 3 legs involved.
Yeah, I won a jelly snake.
Did you win a jelly snake?
Won a jelly snake.
I'd say you just fucking threw it back.
No
resistance.
You know what I do with jelly snakes. I stretch them out, as my friend Sean O'Driscoll taught us all in secondary school, which is too late to be teaching somebody sweet.
You get more jelly snakes.
Yeah, you get more jelly snakes, more surface area.
Now, is there any physicists out there who'd be able to confirm whether or not... You created matter?
Yeah.
That's insane.
We used to call them anti-snakes.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, because there was no real explanation for how you were getting more snakes.
Do you know what the what's it called? Is it the halogen collider?
Large Hadron Collider. Hadron, I think it is.
Hadron?
They're making an even bigger one.
Well, anyway, right? That collider, right? Do you know the reason that they made it in a giant kind of like oval circle kind of thing?
No idea.
It was because they were stretching a jelly snake all the way around to see how far they could stretch it.
Well,
and it keeps on going.
I know you hate when I correct you, but you actually got it a little bit wrong. It wasn't a jelly snake, it was an apple loop.
There's no way it was an apple loop.
It was, yeah.
But how would they join it back together? They'd have to cut the
They,
apple loop.
they never cut it. That's how far they could stretch it.
They fit it over like a kind of a...
Yeah. It's unbelievable, but they did it.
I remember I was...
You remember you told me before you used to put all of them on your Johnson.
I woke up at 4 o'clock in the day on a Sunday once when I was about 14, and I was so depressed.
Read 24.
I was so depressed that I sat outside my house and ate a packet of apple loops. Here, look, you've reached the end of the passage. What's the funniest thing about that?
The funniest thing about that is that you've told me that story before without telling me your age, and it made it seem like it was something that you'd done when you were 25 or something.
No,
it was like
it
was like that's when I fixed my life.
No. All right, go on. Description, right? You've reached the back end of the passage.
Okay.
Somehow, and there is a description that lies on the wall. The walls of this passage, you can feel them, and they're all around you, tightening its grip on you.
And it says that episode 4 was broadcast on Thursday, the 17th of January 2019. Oisin stokes Callum's jealousy as Lee and Tessa work together. Robbie and Anto are frustrated that Carol and Sharon continue to spar. Dervla's running out
You'd want to fucking watch yourself.
of options as her finances dwindle, while Jake worries Alex is taking on too much. All I'm going to say is I think that's the first time we've ever used the term spar, as in sparring, in the entire podcast.
Watch yourself now, all right? You Roberts fiend.
So scene 1 anyway.
Also, I just want to point out that no one in Fair City seems to have any sort of they can't work for longer than just a normal shift, or everyone will basically have an intervention because they're gone insane.
Yeah.
Like Alex is just working part-time during the week and they're all acting like he's throwing away his life.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. He's working the same hours I'm working as an adult. But so scene 1 anyway, Jake and Chris run into Melanie and they try to help Alex with his studies, and they say that he should be taking some time off from work, as Denis just said there, to focus on his mathematics exam. Then we move right on, trundle on. Callum is catching up with Tessa about her business plans with Lee, and Oisin steps in once again to sow the seeds of doubt. And
he is Iago.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. He just wants to see.
What play did you do for the Leaving Cert?
We did. We didn't do Oh no, we did The Tempest.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Is it any good?
That's grand. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Do you remember when we saw that horrible improv over in Edinburgh?
I played Caliban you'll love this, in a modern reinterpretation of The Tempest that our English teacher did.
Jesus, was there rapping in it?
No, but what it was The Tempest.
Were you in Ballincollig?
Yeah, this was out in Ballincollig. But
no, I thought it was like they said it in Ballincollig.
Close to it. What they said it in was a ghost estate.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
And
is that teacher in jail?
Prospero. I think that's the lead. That's like the main guy. I think it's Prospero is stuck on this island with his daughter. Can't remember the daughter's name. And then Caliban is like a local savage that he has kind of taken control of, and he's ruined his life. And what he said it as is that's the property developer that owns this ghost estate. He's living in the only occupied ghost estate, or house in the ghost estate, with his daughter. And Caliban is a frail farmer that lives in a field next to the property, who's had his whole farmland taken up by the compulsory purchase orders.
What's the point in, like, do they up
how long do you, because we performed that in a competition, how long do you think we had to perform that?
Wait, you mean like to practice it or on stage? On stage,
start to finish. How long? Keep in mind,
2.5 hours.
He rewrote the entire thing to be a reinterpretation.
2.5 hours.
15 minutes.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
15 minutes.
How long is that play normally?
It's about 2 hours, I'd say.
We were doing mainly nativity scenes for all of our Christmas plays in primary school until one teacher got the first class to do The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman.
Where
He
you play chess with death.
Yeah, playing chess with death. A lot of first class lads up there doing it. It was 7.5 hours long. There was people crying in the audience due to dehydration. and
The
everything.
only thing, do you know? Have you ever heard of Matthew Crosby?
No.
He's a comedian from the UK. When he was in secondary school, when he was like 14 or 15, his secondary school teacher, his English teacher, went through a nervous breakdown and got them to put on a production of Waiting for Godot, where Godot turned up.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
Scene 4, anyway. Tessa and Lee are having a business meeting in Vino's, but they're looking a bit too cozy for my liking. And Tessa suggests that she runs a logo contest with the local schools, thus exploiting their free labour in order to come up with a logo for their company, where they're selling compostable and recyclable, what would you call them, coffee mugs and stuff like that for local businesses.
And straws.
Yeah, and takeaway stuff. Do you know my big pet peeve for the straws
Everything.
thing?
It's everything. Right?
Yeah, I know, it really is. But where people talk about those straws, Denis just having a bit of a cough there, he's just dying. People talk about those straws and they say, why don't people focus on big business? Like, they're the real problem with global
that's
warming.
that's a very popular meme at the moment.
Yeah. Now, I do agree with that the big companies are the people that are actually
Come on, tell us
screwing
why
the
they're
world.
wrong. Tell us why they're wrong.
But there's nothing to be lost by you also not using a plastic straw.
No, Roger. You don't get it, right? You see, the problem is that why are we sending aid to Africa? Why don't we help our own first?
This is like the people that only care about men's mental health when it's at the expense of women's rights.
I actually think that, Jesus, man, fuck me. I can't even understand that, so I'm distancing myself from it. I think a lot of people are actually accidentally Stalinistic, if that's even a word.
You think so?
Yeah, because they're all they'd love 5-year plans.
Oh, yeah.
They'd go crazy for 5-year plans. Just like, here, sort out the hospitals for 5 years, roads fall apart.
Yeah.
And then it's like, sort out the roads,
Myself and Denis started a 5-year plan. Just nothing in it.
No.
It
But
was
it's
just
going well, though.
Yeah, do you know what? We've achieved
We've
all our
uniforms and
aims.
everything.
Yeah, and our literacy
But
rates have shot up.
I have to say, man, there's been a cold snap lately, and the uniform we got, the old Slazenger thongs, would spice up your life across them, that our friend made for us, that I can't name because it might endanger his job. But no, I don't know, man. The crop tops and the Slazenger thongs are really putting the brakes on me going outside.
Yeah.
And it's just due to the cold weather.
We wear them while we're running, though. Scene 5 now. Jake calls over to Melanie to tell her that Alex can take the day off. Melanie, again, hasn't learned.
Just want to inform you as well that Eric is losing his shit because we're running over time.
Oh, shit. Okay.
He has a date.
Okay, I'll just... He does in his arse.
He does.
He's a court date.
He's taking your one into one of the meeting rooms there, and they're having a takeaway.
Oh, they are not.
Well, it's not
are
a
they?
takeaway. It's like, a takeaway you buy in a supermarket.
Oh, one of those microwavable ones.
Yeah, I made a lasagna the other night, right?
Good man. Good man.
Love me a lasagna. But what I did this time was I always find it hard to get a good lasagna dish. It's one of my greatest annoyances. But I put in... how do you make lasagna? Have you made lasagna before?
Do you know what? I actually haven't.
You can make pretty good vegetarian lasagna.
Yeah.
It's a good old dish. But anyway, I was putting mate into it. So you put in a little bit of mate, right? It's already cooked. You put in a bit of mate, and then it's got sauce in it as well, right? And then mushrooms and all this, right? And then on top of that, you put some layers of pasta, right? You put that on top of it. Then you put more meat, or you put this
Creamy white sauce, isn't it?
Oh, for flip's sake! Yeah, you put that on.
Oh,
it.
do you know what? I actually I've made one step of that lasagna.
Great, yeah, jib. So you put that on it anyway, and then you put more meat on it, and then you put a layer on it, another layer, and then you put more of your jib on top of the pasta after that, and then you put cheese on top of it. But by the time I came to the second pasta layer, I miscalculated things grossly wrong, and so I'd no more jib sauce left, right?
Oh.
But what I did was I just put cheese on top of the layer of pasta, and it created this delicious, salty, crunchy cake, which... As I was eating it, I was like, this is delicious, but my vital organs were failing. But I'm telling you, lads, if you want to do that, if you want to make a little lasagna for yourself, forget the creamy sauce on the second layer. bang on a bit of cheese, you got yourself a salty cake.
Scene 7 then, Oisin overhears a phone conversation where Lee is booking a romantic trip for himself and Tessa because he hears him say he wants one, only one. He rushes, tells Callum about this. Callum says, listen, you're overreacting, got the wrong end of the stick, surely. Then, guess bloody what?
What?
Callum arrives in later after Lee has just accidentally told Tessa she should give her mother a phone call, but her mom's dead. And he goes, I'm sorry, maybe you should call your dad. Her dad's also dead. Absolute nightmare.
Oh man!
So,
I'll tell you, that happened to me before. I was at a party, and all right, Eric, relax. We're nearly finished. I was at a party, and I was talking to a friend of mine who I just moved in with, maybe like 2 or 3 months, and his friend was up, a woman, and I was talking to the two of them. And we were talking about, in secondary school when you do this thing, would you rather and all this.
Yeah.
And one of them would involve your mother. And
would you rather
your mother
lick out your mom?
Oh no! Fuck this!
Record a podcast about Fair City week in, week out for 28 weeks.
It's impossible to answer that.
Yeah.
But you can't just be saying that stuff either. But we were.
No, listen back to what you've said.
I know, but at least there's a little bit of finesse to what I'm saying.
You finesse my arse.
I'll never finesse your arse. Anyway,
and you know it.
Will you shut up? So there was. Oh Jesus! There were the two of them were there anyway, and we were talking about would you rather, whatever, and we posed this question that was like the big secondary school one. No, I'm too mature to repeat it. But basically, it was: would you rather have sex with the caretaker, or have a bat with your mother? I think that was it, right? But it was like in a crazy length of time. It was like a 12-hour bat or something. It wasn't just
2 prunes.
Yeah, two prunes. But yeah, so
that's just the top half.
Oh, just shut up! Just shut the fuck up.
I forgot to say that Callum and Tessa broke up.